Okay, guys. It's been crazy. Oh my god. Underwater astrology podcast. I don't know the number. My computer broke, got a new one. Then I had to realize that there are different times for everything. I can't go on at certain times. So now I can't go on the computer from 3 p.m. Sorry, there's a movie in the background. I can't go on the computer from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. because it's so charged with Uranus at those times, and I don't know why. I have to look at the scale, but it's definitely charged. Some people are so far in the future, and that's very, very, so this is how I feel, like, with all the, going into South Node Libra and all of that, looking at the Akashic and looking at this whole lineage of cults, and that our souls are all kind of signed up in these cults, and some of them are good and some of them are bad, right? So kind of understanding some people need to clear their cult Akashic record, and that means going to a special person and clearing the cult Akashic. You might be a part of a cult that you do not want to be a part of, and your whole life you feel bullied into these self-limiting belief patterns that create really stifling relationships where you don't feel like you can freely move and express yourself because you've willingly have taken a cult agreement from a past life that you've not cleared. And I don't mean to sound weird, but I see this happen a lot. I've seen people be like, I don't know why I always have to call this person. It's because you have to clear something. And I think moving into South Node Libra is very psychic, right? Libra the sign. And I think just understanding, just being aware, where do you draw the line between what you know and what you're willing to do for others? Because the whole thing with Libra and Aries is kind of a mind fucked, because Libra is Libra is actually thinking about themselves through the other. So they're doing things, they're thinking about themselves through the other. So they're like, my house looks beautiful because I want it to reflect the beauty that I want to have with my friends. And Aries is well, I'm doing this to make you feel happy, to be a hero, right? So Aries and Libra are not the same, and that's why you have to be really smart in this transit. This next transit coming up in the next 2 months is going to require a higher, more refined intelligence that I don't think anyone is going to understand just until we get there. We're already starting to feel it today. We're 4 degrees away from South Node Libra, right? And I think it's ironic because Pluto's in Aquarius, right? So it's understanding what Pluto and Aquarius is going to wake us up to do with North Node being on Chiron. So all this heated energy is not going to be of good use. Libra is actually going to be the one that actually saves you. This transit, ironically, it's North Node Aries, but really it's North Node Libra. Trust me. It's how do you understand that sometimes the North Node is understanding the South Node so well, right? So it's whoa, this is deep. Definitely starting to wake up to the cellular activation with South Node and Libra, and understanding people are going to be really aggressive and really angry, and what you can do in those transits is just work with the moon, follow underwater astrology, look at the moon. We were just in moon in Sagittarius. People were really hot-headed. Now just entering moon in Capricorn, people are cooling off, but moon in Capricorn is really far away. Capricorn is really far away with the moon. It's the furthest, almost, people have said Capricorn feels the furthest with the moon there. It's the most distant with their emotions. Moon and Capricorns are the kind of people that they're the most distant with their emotions. So to have a relationship with them, it's kind of you kind of have to gather all your emotions at the end of the relationship and be okay, I'm grabbing all my stuff and leaving. And that's it, because so many people have pointed this out about you and you've not taken the initiative to do anything about it. Right? So now I'm just going to pack my bags up and leave. I'm not going to expect you to change. I'm just going to pack my bags up and leave. And I think so much with North Node and Aries is what are we expecting people to do to change to be for us? And what do we know? Libra's what you know, right? It's I know the lineage. I know my family DNA. I know what they're going through. I know it's going to be accentuated with North Node and Libra, North Node and Aries, because people are gonna try to make it about themselves, but they're gonna realize that we're all so tied in with each other. So it's gonna be this constant soul pull of especially with twin flames, because they're gonna be it's about me, it's about me, it's about me. No, but it's about them. And I think that's the whole thing is like, hopefully this transit goes quick. Because I think having Libra in the South Node is such a mindfuck. Remember North Node, North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius. It's one of those. I mean, that was like the worst. North Node Gemini was so bad. That was so bad. Because like South Node Sagittarius was like, please just understand that like there is racism, there is patriarchy, there is a lot of things that are going on that are unsaid, that go under a rug, that build up over time, that create personality disorders, that create dissociation, that create mental illness. And with North Node and Gemini, I was a process of shedding all of that. And that's when I had my Kundalini activated super high and I had my Kundalini rising, right? But now going into North Node Aries with the Chiron there, Jesus Christ, like I want to say ouch, but it's almost the opposite. It's like understanding like, how do you claim things you were a little bit afraid of with North Node and Aries so that you can be the hero of your own life, but also just come back into Libra so willingly and wholeheartedly. So it's kind of like, if you're going to be the hero in the relationship, then come back and then be like, but it's about understanding who I love on such a deep level and why I love them and why words cannot express why I love certain people. It's just beyond words. So I think in a lot of ways, it's like, I hope people find their soulmates in this transit with Pluto and Aquarius. I think people are waking up a lot to these spiritual abilities and are being guided by angels and guides. They're here and they're definitely knocking on your door right now as I'm talking. They're like, please listen to me. It's Archangel Uriel, man. Like, you gotta know, man. Like, you gotta know your place in society, because like North Node and Aries is definitely gonna place you somewhere. And that's why I'm talking about Akashic Record. It's really important to know like what your past lives were, right? So that you could be like, okay, like if you had a past life as a Tibetan monk, right? Like, what are you bringing into this life? And what are your like energies that you can bring into this life, right? I think it's really important to be like there are certain things about my family that will never reflect me, right? And there's certain things that I can never be the hero of, right? And I think just for me personally, going through so much of the career stuff I've been through, being like, I can't be the hero of every scenario. Like, I can't be the hero of my bank account, but I can save money, right? I can't. So like Libra's like all about balance. So if you put it up in like a bit of like a looking at all the sectors of your life, like I can pull that up really quick. Right, so we have physical environment, career, business, finances and wealth, friends and family, fun, recreation and entertainment, health and fitness, love life, personal spiritual development. Okay, for my physical environment, sure, I can be the hero, but that does come out of my bank account. I cannot do that all the time. But what can you do in the meantime when you do not want to, when you want to be the hero, but you can't spend the money, right? So it's like, well, I can change things up. I can recharge my crystals, right? Moving into career and business. Well, there's only so much you can do now, and you have to accept it. Know your place, and that's why I say know your past lives. What gifts are you bringing in? Get a little bit psychic about that, right? Finances and wealth. I guess here it's like, don't be so hard on yourself with this transit. Know that this internet has been completely monetized. Your internet experience is a lot more monetized than you think, which is creating feelings of isolation, because it's like, well, I'm spending like 90 euros a day or $90 a day on like what? Reese's Pieces or something that I thought was cool online or something. Like a Reese's Pieces colored like Apple Mac case. You know? So I think like that's really important to be like, well, finances and wealth, maybe watch a free video on finances and wealth, or maybe like take a bill off. You know what I mean? Take a bill off a day so you can try something else. Friends and family, here again, you cannot be the hero of your friends and family. You cannot be the hero and save everyone out of their tragic story. I've seen many of these people in this generation go off the rails because of addiction. It's just known. This is the generation of addiction with attention, and it's understanding, like, how do you rephrase your life so that you do not fit in that equation? I really purely think this is all a formula, and it's all with North Node approaching Aries. It's all how do we rephrase it, right? Aries, people think of war, but with Chiron there, it's going to be everything but war. I think it's going to be more like, you know what it's going to be like? It's going to be like the soft, little angelic feeling of like understanding maybe like the more simplistic things of life, because Aries is pretty simple, and rendering it down so you can feel a bit more simple, and initiating positive courage and making your life simple, right? I think with fun, recreation, and entertainment, sure. I think with Aries there, like Aries like to be the center of attention, right? Aries is the child of the zodiac. I think definitely going out and having fun once a week is definitely a recipe for love. Think about recipes for love, not recipes for disaster. You know, like, I guess just schedule in a little, you know, try to schedule in as much me time as possible, and then go out and have fun. I know here in my city, I could go out, see a show, take a couple photos, come back home, and like, that's it. It doesn't have to be like you're the drinking and taking shots, like 10 shots, and like you're passed out drunk and you have to call an ambulance, and like you call your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend or lover and you say like, I'm so sorry, I love you, what happened? No, like, that's tragic. You don't want a tragic story here. You want a fun, like, lighthearted, energetic transit. You don't want to get involved in these addictions of attention. These things lead to worse substances, and we have to start pointing, yes, we are in an attention economy, and it's very serious. This is really serious. How we navigate the internet and the sphere of internet is really important. And I think when you know the truth, and the truth is there, and we all have Michael, and it's blaring obvious, and you take radical action towards the truth, feel the echoes of it, feel the effects, and then come back and realize, okay, how do I render this to make myself feel better in the future? Because it's not always about trying to impress someone. It's working through the fear of the unknown with North Node and Aries. Because it's the first sign, it is a bit of like, okay, like, we're working through the fear of the unknown, but maybe it's layering it up with a little bit of spiritual diversity. Maybe we've been focusing on one religion, maybe we need to learn more about another. Maybe we've been focusing on one aspect of life, maybe we need to open up to another. So maybe you've been, let's say, really sexual. Maybe you need to focus on opening up yourself to senses, like getting in your senses, like trying new foods and opening up your senses. And it's okay to be really sexual, but maybe it's good to try something else, like your senses, try new foods, you know, get involved with your body. With health and fitness, I think ultimately here, like, don't be so hard on yourself with Chiron going in the North Node. I think there's almost so much you can do. You know what I mean? I think it's important to just be like, with health and fitness here, it's like, I think this is what I have to say about North Node and Aries being the hero of this part of this aspect, but not going overboard, right? Like, don't be the tragic hero where you're doing stuff for other people, right? Like, don't be like, I am initiating this for you. Like, understand the story, understand your part, but understand how a lot of what you're going to be triggered into is just the fear of the unknown. And once you tap into that, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be about the balance of what you know and what you don't know. A lot of it will be, I think, for a lot of the collective, with the pandemic really clearing up by this point, is getting back into nature. And yeah, like tapping into like, do you need a bicycle? You know what I mean? Do you need to go out for a skate? Do you need to get rollerblades? You know what I mean? Do you need to go talk and hug a tree? Like, we're on Earth. We're not on like AI tech. We're not on like an AI planet. We're not on like Uranus. That's the thing, is like, it's so important to be like, we're not on Uranus, we're on Earth, right? It's so special. We're all here to connect And we're all here to open up our heart. The earth is the heart chakra, right? It's so obvious. You know what I mean? I think if there's an invitation to open up in your inbox and you have a good feeling and there's been a good feeling with this person, for example, those who are seeking friendships or new relationships, new lover relationships, and you feel a good opening with this person and you feel like there's been good patterns, then yeah, I think now is a perfect time to just be like, definitely explore how you can balance out the relationship and explore that avenue. Because I think it's going to be really important to trust after all the isolation and the anxiety it's created, to create trust patterns and create a kind of rhythm, right? Because rhythm is the root chakra. Irregular rhythm is not the root chakra. Regular rhythm is the root. So you have to realize the root is laced with rhythm. But I'm not saying every rhythm is a good rhythm, and I'm not saying you want to invite everyone to the rhythm of your root. And that's the whole thing, is because there are people who will just cause turbulence to the rhythm of your root, but ultimately it's your root chakra. Remember, that's why you don't go out and share your body with everyone. And it's okay if you do that, but remember, right? Addictions on all fronts. And when I see health and fitness, yeah, I mean, if you're having lots and lots of sex, definitely get an HIV test. I think it's not a thing to play around with North Node and Aries, Chiron there. If it's healing and you're figuring it out through that avenue, well, yeah, definitely get a STD test as well. Moving forward, love life. I think here, like I said, if you were feeling a good rhythm with this person, so this is how I feel. Your rhythm is your own. So nobody can determine how someone responds or how often they will respond. But in terms of the love life, I think that with North Node and Aries, I think there's going to be like, with Chiron there's going to be like this need for the inner child to be seen so radically, and it will be so obvious, and it will be like just like that, like see my inner child like now. And then, you know, like that kind of connection will deepen. So if there is a kinship and a connection with the inner child, then it will be really strong. I think really try to make an inner child connection and base it off of that. And when I mean that, it's like have a playful side to your relationship, right? Like have the essence of like exploration and diversity, because that will keep it exciting. If you're kind of in the same box doing the same thing, that could be fun, but it can be redundant. I think adding a little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor, with Aries being a fire sign, Libra being air, so it's kind of like the air of truth, right? There's a lot to be said. Moving forward, personal spiritual development. I think here with the North Node being in Aries, I think ultimately understanding your personal hygiene will be very important. Understanding your spiritual development will be very important with Chiron here. Like I said, understanding your Akashic, understanding what your soul has signed up for in this lifetime is good. It's just, now is the time. It's just important to upgrade. It's an upgrade. It's a cellular upgrade right now. We're going through an upgrade. I'm saying that. We're going through an upgrade, so it means that on some level, everyone's going to want to upgrade during North Node and Aries. It's going to be like either financially, you're going to want to get paid more. Either you're going to want just like something new. You're just going to want an upgrade. And I think with the personal and spiritual development, there's no shame in being like, I got to be spiritual about it because I can't upgrade every time I want to. And I think people are starting to realize that, you know, the asteroid part fortune is fluctuating so much, and that you got to watch out for that one, because that's how they get you. That's how you have to know, what is Pars Fortune aspecting? Is it aspecting Regulus on the 29th degree, accentuating these intensities? Is it accentuating Sirius in Cancer, right? Is it accentuating Aldebaran, survival? Is it accentuating Chiron? It's like Pars Fortune is definitely a sound, and it's definitely a sound in astrology, and it's amplified by whatever it is in the collective and whatever it is in your astrology. So you gotta realize, like, we're growing up. I think in terms of physical environment, we talked about this one. But I think, again, looking at the sphere, you know? So I think I'm really excited for this upcoming transit in the next few months. I think that there will be a lot of beautiful aspects.